Howdy kids, we're gonna go over something here. What I have here is basically my I call them a range belt, just kind of a belt. It wouldn't be like a setup I'd have if I was, let's say I was gonna do a recon, or I was gonna do some type of more assault type thing, or different things. This is kind of my, let's just say my all the time use, general purpose use, range bag, shooting bag, throw in the car, go fast kind of bag, or belt setup. So as you can see, I like G-code. You might like, was it Alienware, or, there's a lot of different companies that make gear. I just personally like the modularity of G-code stuff. So it's kind of expensive, but you can do it cheaply, especially when they have sales. So I'll put some pictures at the end of the video of some of their gear, and then I'll explain some of the stuff I have here. So basically, I've got this general purpose mag pouches here for a pistol, because usually this is what I wear when I go to the range. So, this can accommodate 10 mil mags to 9 mil mags, or whatever you want to run. So however you want to do it. I just have one basic, AR mag pouch on here, because I'd usually, and maybe I'll show at a later date, the plate carrier that I use, and it's got 3 mags. So this will give me one on my belt at minimum. So if I had some situation where I had to get rid of my plate carrier, I still have at least 1 mag on my belt. Now I've had this thing for quite a while. You can see here it's starting to fray. This wasn't an expensive pouch, I don't believe. I think it's one I got off Amazon. But you can see it's starting to get wear right here where the sewing is. These have held up really good. I've had this set up for more than 2 years. It's a Tacticon belt. I'll put a picture of it in there. It's held up really good. It's still, the clasp is really good, not too worn. This is just a carabiner I had back in the day. Yeah, there's some quick cuffs there. You never know what kind of butthole you're gonna run into. You might need something like this. Crazy people out there today. Just a cheapy little throw bag. I like the fact it's got pockets on the side, and I can right here, carry I got a multi-tool in this little pouch. Kind of like it. It's got a Velcro hook and latch, so throw the Stars and Stripes on there. You know what I mean? Cheapy style tourniquet carrier. These are on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Usually you can buy them as 1, or you can buy them as 2. I've used these a lot on other setups besides this. They hold up really well for what they are, and they fit most of these, tourniquet setups. So this tourniquet, it is made where I could reach behind my back, grab it, and use it on myself if I have to. But also, if I'm down, someone else can see it easily, pull it out for me, and use it on me. Or if I'm dead, they can use it for themselves. Anyway, it's there. Fairly cheap. I think this is a Chinese, it's a tourniquet I bought. So I run the risk of, will it hold together when I need it? There's been some reports, like in Ukraine, people buying stuff like this, and when they get the pressure on it and they twist it up, the seams rip, and then they bleed out and die. So you run that risk when you buy cheaper, possibly unknown tourniquets. So that's, yeah, you got to think about that. This is a pouch. I'm pretty sure I got this online. I don't know if they're still available, but it's kind of a nice medical pouch. So in here I got some basics, some quick clot. This gear, I got my Israeli bandage. Few other things, emergency blankets, just the basics for bullet holes mostly. I think back in there's some Band-Aids and whatnot. This is just kind of this is actually a quick tearaway style pouch. So if, like I said, if I was down and someone else needed it, I can tear it off there and use it, or maybe I can pull it off myself from behind. So the idea is I can get to it myself. Again, the carabiner, I like having them. I just don't think you can have enough carabiners. This can be used for mags, radio. I mainly use it for water bottles. These are cheap off Amazon. I stick them on backpacks. I got them on all my belts. Just because canteens are cool, but they're expensive. However, a small, drinking water bottle, you can find those anywhere. You can find one on the ground or in the trash. Clean it out, and you got a way to have water on you. Water's important no matter what you're doing. And especially in a high stress situation. You won't believe how much water you go through, or you wish you had if you didn't have it. I'll tell you that. This is a, I can't remember who makes this knife, but it's a Rowan. Kind of expensive. This is an Essie knife. I added some grip tape stuff from a pistol I was working on. I just added a little extra there where I wanted the grip, because this is a cool material, but it's slippery, man. I wish it had like some serrations or something in it that it'd be a little more grippy. I guess you can put your hand there if you want. I'd be afraid to slide my finger over that if you actually had to stick something. I wouldn't call this necessarily, I don't know, I guess maybe it's a fighting knife. It's kind of long, but this is more just kind of general purpose knife. But it's got a great feel, tang all the way to the rear. I think I bought this on Amazon too, and I'll put a little thing on it about it. Now you notice here, I just use paracord to tie it on. The reason I do that is if I put something more rigid, it may not be able to move kind of out of my way, like if I was sitting in a vehicle or squatting down or sitting down or something. The parachute cord gives it enough rigidity to hold on my belt, but it also gives it a little movement, so it moves out of my way if I need it out of my way. All right. Now let's move on down to the G-code gear, the G-code stuff. This is pretty cool. The reason why I like the G-code equipment is I can take it off. So right here, you can see I'm missing the screw because I've got the screws that they send or that they sell, or the problem is I buy these plates for like $11 each. Not expensive. And they can be adapted to a lot of the Blackhawk and Safariland holsters and stuff. So this is the Omnivore holster. This is the one I Angry Beavered for the Glock 10 mil. So they have different kinds of plates. If you look in their accessories page, they got different plates that just mount into these. If you want to go with the revolver, to give you an idea, yeah, so you see it's empty. It locks on the TLR1 light. That's one reason why I use the light. So you can see here, this comes empty. So it can mount in the same one that the it can mount in the same one that the Glock goes in. It doesn't really matter. So here's the Glock. It's empty. So I can mount this into here as well. I'll stop putting, this is the one, see it's sticking out there. So it can mount on there. And then here I've got a Grand Palace, a Q1, right? The Q100, sorry. Q100, it's empty. It'll mount into this same holster as well. So that'll just lock on there and you push this little button in and you're good to go. So the other thing too is You can also get paddle hookups like this. They have a lot of different types of connectors. Now, some people complain that these break real easy. Again, see the different kind of screws. Hey, G-Code, make us a screw kit. Be great. So you just take this one. I can mount it in there, and then if I want, I can run the XD in there, and it's all FD cool, right? FDE. Woo! You get the cool guy colors, you know. So yeah, I have kind of color coordinated, but my gun belt is made up of a hodgepodge stuff that I can afford and is at a price point I can afford. So if I'm not buying like really expensive, you know, other stuff, but like mag holders and things that will save me some money in order to buy the G-Code more expensive stuff. So the nice thing is this round piece can be removed by these screws and then put on something else. Screw it in a wall, screw it inside your car, whatever you want, and you've got the connector. So I really like the G-Code setup. So right now I just like to run my, again, that can go in there, or it can go in this one. That's the Q100 in the XD holster. So you can run it however you like. But keep in mind too, the TLR1 lights, they're friggin' awesome. I run those and I spend the extra money. They're anywhere from $120 to $140. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. No real way around that price tag right now, because at least I know find them cheaper. So if you can find them cheaper, that's great. So for now, I'm going to continue to run my 10 mil on this rig. Keep the paddle holster, you know, where it was, and just lock it in like that. That's a good setup right there. So that just kind of explains my belt real quick. This is the one that, you know, I take to the range predominantly. It's just kind of my easy grab and go belt. That's what I call it, the grab and go belt. No frills, no, you know, extra mags, anything like that. So, you know, I have like 3 different belt setups. One, if I was going to do like a static kind of security type, you know, stand at a checkpoint kind of work. One would be like this if I need to drive or do other things. Now, if I had to drive, I'd probably remove this back, this thing. That's why I like the Velcro. I can pull it off quickly and just set it, you know, on the console next to me or something. I've got another belt that's set up that has suspenders because it's my AR-10 belt. So it's holding a lot of heavy 308 rounds and mags. Maybe another point, if you guys want, comment. I'll show you my other belt setups and why I have them set up that way. Same with the chest rigs and things like that. So just from doing things when I was in the military and just living normal life, I kind of set up my rigs for what works for me and what situation I think I would need that setup in. So that's kind of like, if you're setting up your belt, you know, you don't have to do what the cool guys do. I don't. I run with what I think works for me. Yeah, well, this belt, you know, these latches hold up compared to the cool guy gear. I don't know. I have multiples of these belts, and I have some of these belts that I wear sometimes every day. These latches have been fine. Are they made of inferior material? More than likely. So you just got to think about that. That's the inside of the belt. So don't worry about the sirens out there. They're just testing the tornado sirens. It's not air raid. I'm not in a zone. So you can see right here, see the movement on the knife? I may tighten that up a little bit. The thing about using paracord is that it will loosen up when you first install it. So mine's gotten pretty loose, but I kind of like it being able to move around like that and be out of my way. This G-code thing, it locks your gun, you know, and the nice thing about this, it stays kind of tied up in your crotch. It's not down on your leg. So if you had to run, this is not going to be putting pressure on your thigh muscle. And trust me, if you got one hanging down on your thigh muscle, all you guys know that you run these, you know, your muscle gets constricted. And if it's on your right leg, that kind of makes it more work for one leg over the other. So I don't know if it's better to have something strapped up on the left side where it's kind of balanced. But I like this because it rides high in my crotch area. And yeah, if I was having to do like a 12, 14 mile friggin' road march, no, I'd probably unattach it so it wouldn't be wearing a cherry in the crotch area. So here you can see where it's all kind of rigged in. I just have this as an extra in case I need to snap it on something else. That's the gist of it. Anyway, giving you some ideas. If someone were to, you know, venture around my house with the intent to not be friendly, that's what this is for. You know, so you kind of got to have, you know, maybe it's just me. I just like to be prepared for things I might run into. And I like to try to have a good setup or a good plan. You know, all plans though, they go to crap when the real thing begins. But at least it's better to have a plan than no plan. I don't really like this being, you know, white. But the reason I chose white was that if I'm at the range or if I'm, you know, with other people, we're running around with guns, someone can easily identify, oh, that's the medic bag, grab it. It's not so much to be tactical at all. And, you know, I like the colors of OD green and tan and black together. And I like the look of what I have here. So, you do you, man. And subscribe, please. And comment if you have any questions about the gear or how it holds up or anything like that. Or if you want to see other rig stuff, if that's an interest to you guys, I'll put it up. Yeah. Anyway, it's Friday, Labor Day weekend. Have a great weekend, guys and gals. See you later.
Woke up on the porch, oh baby, I look to the sun. Wipe the sand from my shoulder, and I know you're the one. It was long ago, we moved nice and slow. I loved it by the mind and soul. Nothing I wouldn't give as long as I live to have a